Good evening, fight fans. This is Chris Guzman with your weekly Thursday night injection of boxing talk, updates, and all-out arguments. This is your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour brought to you by George Rogie Insurance. It is Thursday night, May the 4th, 2009. We are live from Leg Up Production Studios, Hobart, Indiana, just outside Chicago, Illinois. Partner in crime, Emil Soda Babinski Kagabine, right here on the right side of your screen. Mo, what is up with you?
Not much. A bunch of disappointment this weekend. Didn't get to see pretty much any fights this weekend. They all got canceled, called off, or whatnot.
Well, there wasn't going to be a Friday night fights, but and that was scheduled that way. I mean, that sucked anyway. You already knew there wasn't going to be ESPN2 Friday night fights, but there was going to be so much more over the weekend.
Yeah, there was well, I believe it was HBO had a card.
We did have Juan Urango get smacked around by Andre Berto.
Yeah, it was not quite as exciting as I would have liked. I mean, I like to see a little action back and forth, and it was pretty much all one-sided by the guy that you interviewed tonight.
Actually, we spoke a little bit earlier with Andre Berto, Olympian, also the WBC welterweight champion of the world. Lots and lots of things to talk about with Andre Berto, and we'll get to that in about 30 minutes or so. It's a full 10-minute interview. Plenty of stuff that we talked about. We talked about his win over Urango. We talked about how he's now the newest member of Team Everlast. How he's going to be at the Boxing Hall of Fame to meet all his fans in person at the Night of Rising Stars. And he even talks about the big welterweight clash coming up here between Miguel Cotto and
Joshua Clottey.
Joshua Clottey. I was about to say Emmanuel Clottey. I get Joshua and Emmanuel mixed up simply because of their last name.
Yeah, there will be a manual out at the Hall of Fame where you're going to be going.
There will be an Emmanuel Stewart out there, very much so. Yes.
Yeah, we posted the whole list of everybody that's going, so you got to be excited for that.
I'm exceptionally excited.
I mean, I think there was 36 names on that list. The 7 inductees plus.
And there's always surprises.
Plus the champions, the past
dignitaries, lots of them.
And like you said, there's always guys that just show up.
There's always surprises. But so far, guaranteed for the Night of Rising Stars at the Rusty Rail, you've got Deontay Wilder, the bronze medalist in the '08 Olympics. You've got this guy, big Paul the Punisher Williams. You've also got Lucian Butte. That's ridiculous. That guy is a rock star. For him to be there in Canastota, that tiny little village, for the Boxing Hall of Fame induction weekend, that's a hell of a big deal. And the guy that we interviewed, and this is one guy we don't have to chase down now.
Yeah.
One guy we can leave him alone. Shake his hand, give him a hug, whatever, get a photo, but we don't need to chase him to get an interview. I got it today.
Yeah.
No problem. Out of the way.
But,
Andre Berto, WBC welterweight champion. That'll be in about 30 minutes or so.
I'm sure not just the 4 guys that you mentioned are going to be the only rising stars. They're probably going to add a couple more to that list.
Always. And they do the live workouts there on the grounds in the ring at the right under the pavilion.
Yeah, and then there's a couple other stars. I mean, the parade marshal and who was the other guy that was going to be there? I know Paulie and
Burt Young is going to be there. Burt Young, obviously, Paulie from all the Rocky movies. Rocky, you're a bum. All of that. That actually sounded more like Mickey. I didn't mean for it to sound like Mickey. But his sidekick, his brother-in-law.
Yeah.
Is actually Adrian's brother.
You Paul.
Yeah, but he will be one of the grand marshals of the parade, as well as a gentleman whose name is escaping me from The Sopranos, and from lots of other movies and TV shows where he needs to be a mean Italian dude.
Yeah.
So, Timmy the producer Patterson over there at the controls. Timmy, what's up with you, and how can our listeners get in touch tonight?
Not a whole lot going on with me, buddy. Sad that I'm missing the Hall of Fame next week. But can't wait to hear the stories when you get back. But the way the listeners can reach us is on the hotline, 219-743-9743. Yahoo Instant Messenger is up and running. Keyword Bolo Punch Boxing Hour. But the best way to reach us is in the chat room via Ustream.tv. I do want to say special thanks out there to Pete Perry for his article on Ringside Report about tonight's show. We appreciate that.
That's my friend Gino, who's actually responsible for that. Pete Perry is a feature writer on the website Ringside Report. But
and
Gino, I hope I'm not saying his last name incorrectly. You know what? I'm not going to say it at all at the chance of mispronouncing it. But Gino, the head honcho over at Ringside Report.
And he was introduced to you basically through Pete Perry.
Absolutely. So he is the CEO of everything that is Ringside Report. And there is a collaboration of sorts between Ringside Report and Bolo Punch, and we will keep you posted on how that unfolds as the week progresses. We're going to talk in a second about how all the heavyweights have been calling in sick. There is not going to be a Valuev-Shigev 2 right away, at least. And there is not going to be a Klitschko versus David Haye, at least not right away. We're going to go ahead and take our first break of the night, and we will be right back to discuss that and all the fights that got us through the week. Not that there were that many, but there was a really hefty one between Berto and Urango. We'll talk about that in just a second. This is your Bolo Punch Boxing Hour, brought to you by George Rogie Insurance, www.bolopunchboxinghour.com, streaming to you live as always on Ustream.tv.